Yo guys, and welcome back to another NBA 2K21 video on the channel. But before I do get started, make sure you drop a like, comment, and a subscription down below. Turn on those post notifications so you can be the first ones to these Myleague videos. In the last Myleague series, it was with my favorite team, the Milwaukee Bucks. It was modded, it looked beautiful. We crashed out in the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like it, of course. I hate the Sixers. They got some cracked buckets towards the end. Horford. Let's look at the box score. Embiid only had 24, to be fair. But, like, his putbacks were dumb. Like, I don't understand. It was a heartbreaking finish to this series, but I'm here to do it again in 2K21. We have some mods. The modding community hasn't been too on top of it this year, but I have all the mods I can get, so I'm going to start running it up now, and as the series progresses and mods come out, more mods will be added to the series. So, last year, like I said, I was the Milwaukee Bucks last year. This year, I asked a lot of people on Twitter. The two options were the Toronto Raptors and the Philadelphia 76ers, and a lot of people told me the Sixers, and I'm going to go with the Philadelphia 76ers this year. They have a very stacked roster. They recently fired their head coach, Brett Brown, which I will also do here. We're also going to fire Brett Brown here. And I'm going to hire... You know what? I'm going to hire Jacob Underwood. He's a cheesy coach, but I'm going to hire him even though he's not a real coach in real life. So evaluating the roster here, you would think that this team would be a contender off rip. But I feel like the acquisition of Al Horford and giving Tobias Harris a max contract was not the best thing to do by Elton Brand. He really went all in there, but didn't... I like where he was going with the team, but his thought of going win now and giving a 34-year-old a $27.50 million contract isn't the best thing to do either, and giving Tobias Harris a max. No hate, but to me he's a poor man's Chris Middleton. So I'm going to evaluate the roster here. I'm going to do a lot of changes. So I apologize if I trade your favorite player. But in my eyes, there's only two untouchable players, and that is Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. A lot of people do say they want to split them up, but I read some good takes about it on Twitter. There was one that said Giannis and Middleton have been together for 7 years before they did anything together. No, 5 years before they did anything together in 2018. And Ben and Joel haven't been together that long. I think it's been like 3 years now. So I'm going to give them some more time to gel together. I might do what Brett Brown did in real life, put Ben Simmons at the 4, depending if I can get a better point guard. I do have one in mind, but I'll have to work out a trade for him. We do have the assets to trade for him, but I'll have to make it happen. So guys that I do want to ship off, I did talk with one of my friends who is a 76ers fan on what he would like to see the roster look like. And we both mutually agree that Tobias Harris and Al Horford are on the block for anything. I want to build a solid bench of shooters. Matisse Thybulle's going to stay. I do really like Matisse Thybulle. He's a solid young player. He had a good rookie campaign. Yeah, he's going to be great off the bench for us. I also do like Furkan Korkmaz and Shake Milton off the bench. They are both very good shooters, and I want to keep them here for that three-point shooting, because we want to surround Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid with three-point shooting, because Embiid has came out and said that he doesn't like to shoot the three ball, and Ben Simmons just doesn't shoot it. He doesn't have the confidence. So I want to surround them by three-point shooters. Embiid can shoot it. He's a good shooter, but I'm not going to force him to shoot it. I'm just going to surround him by elite three-point shooters. I do have a lot of players in mind, but I'll have to make it all happen. So one point guard I had in mind to bring to the Philadelphia 76ers, he's been very underrated this season. I think his team did go to the bubble. It is De'Aaron Fox. I would pick him up and then slide Ben Simmons to the 4. I'd be willing to give up Tobias Harris for that. I'd take on Harrison Barnes' contract. Just need to throw in some random young assets here. Glenn Robinson's not exactly young, but he might be a sweetener. We don't have any firsts to give up, but we do have a lot of picks. We have a 2020... No, we can't. The stipend rule. The 2024 first rounder. They still don't have a counteroffer for us. I want to bring De'Aaron Fox to Philly. I'm going to keep throwing in picks to see if it can just sweeten up the pot here. Second. This trade is very lopsided, but they don't like it. So I'm going to see if I can sway it. Josh Richardson does have some nice trade value, but not what I want. Al Horford? No. Okay. I did do a trade finder for De'Aaron Fox. They wanted Ben Simmons. I'm not going to give up Ben Simmons for De'Aaron Fox. Ben Simmons is untouchable for us. I want to bring in De'Aaron Fox regardless, but only if the trade is right for us. So I'm trade finding Tobias Harris here, and I'm seeing plenty of options that I could like. There's D'Angelo Russell there. There is Malcolm Brogdon, Victor Oladipo. There's OG Anunoby and Marc Gasol. I doubt I'd take that one. There's John Wall. A very injury-plagued career, but could we revamp his career in Philly? Who knows? There's Chris Middleton. As you guys know, I'm a big Bucks fan, but I will not be trading for Chris Middleton in this series. I played with too much Chris Middleton in 2K, so I'm not going to do that this year. Drummond, no. He's not a shooter. We're going for floor spacing this year. I do like that Buddy Hield trade, but I feel like the trade is awfully lopsided for how much we're giving up. We're giving up Tobias Harris and a first for a 27-year-old Buddy Hield. Not a big fan of that one. This Knicks trade I don't like. I do like this Magic trade, but we do have an elite top top 2 center in the league. It's debatable, him and Jokic. I like this trade as well. The Brogdon Oladipo for Tobias Harris. We get we get solid 1 and 2 guards. They both are fairly expensive, though. That's my one problem with that trade. Blake Griffin, D Rose. D Rose is a solid backup point guard, but I want an elite starter. I'm leaning towards this D'Lo trade here. He's 24 years old, 84 overall, same overall as Tobias Harris, cheaper contract, and we get Josh Okogie. Don't know how I feel about keeping Josh Okogie here in Philly, but I might take this trade and pull the trigger on it, because then Ben Simmons could play his position that he likes to play, the 4, even though Ben Simmons is a great playmaking point guard. We get a great shooter in D'Angelo Russell. He's a great young piece, and we can build around him for the future. We get a nice young core with D'Angelo Russell, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid, with Furkan Korkmaz, Matisse Thybulle coming off the bench. We don't give up too much. We do give up our 2024 first-round pick, but ideally, with this young core in 2024, we still will be a contending team, so that first-round pick will be out of the lottery, and it will be probably in the 25s to 30s in the first round, so it's not a big deal for me. Tobias Harris, we get rid of his huge contract, and Alec Burks, I do like Alec Burks, but it's just what you got to do to get guys like D'Angelo Russell. His contract is a lot smaller than Tobias Harris. He's a lot younger, and he's the same overall. I'm pulling the trigger on that trade. So now I can change Ben Simmons to his position, power forward. His overall does go up. I think he was in what was he as a point guard? His overall doesn't change. Okay. He is an 88 overall power forward, and then him and Joel Embiid will share the 4 and 5 spot. D'Angelo Russell is going to be our point guard. So now we need to find a spot for Al Horford and his stupid contract. So I'm going to do Al Horford a first and a second, see what I can get in return. There's Gordon Hayward there. That's not a bad trade, but he also has a huge contract. His contract is a lot bigger than Al Horford's. I don't know how I feel about that contract. I do like this Buddy Hield trade. He's a very good shooter. But once again, his huge contract, and I don't know if I want to be paying a guy like Buddy Hield that much. Blake Griffin, we already have a good power forward, and Ben Simmons. I might have to build my own trade here with Al Horford. So I'm going to go to Team Intel, see what teams are rebuilding or selling, see who I can snag from other teams. Ideally, a big contract player that's solid, just so I don't have a problem matching up Al Horford's salary. So I do see that the Phoenix Suns are rebuilding as usual. I'm going to see if I can pull Devin Booker. I'm going to throw in Al Horford. The salary caps do match, so I'm going to keep going here. Jay Rich, my buddy who's a Sixers fan said he'd be okay if we ship Jay Rich. We do have a good shooting guard, good shooting guards off the bench in Furkan Korkmaz and Matisse Thybulle, so I'm not too upset about that. Let's see if we can toss in a few first-round picks as sweeteners for Devin Booker here. Maybe a first and a second. They don't like that at all. Let's see if we can toss in another first. We have Devin Booker in Philly. Our team is coming together. It really is. So we have a front court duo of D'Angelo Russell, or backcourt. I keep forgetting this shit. We have a guard duo of D'Angelo Russell and Devin Booker. We have a 4 and 5 duo of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. Booker and Russell are both very good shooters. They're both A- 3-point shooters. We have Matisse Thybulle, Shake Milton, and Furkan Korkmaz off the bench. They all can play the 2 and 3 position. I would like to fill the small forward spot in our starting 5, but it's not a big deal for me because Matisse Thybulle could start or Furkan Korkmaz. I probably will go trade for a starting caliber small forward though, so I'm going to do that now. So a guy I wouldn't mind bringing to Philly is Kelly Oubre Jr. He's very young. He does have a big contract though. That's my one dilemma with him. He's not a bad player. I will have to give up a lot just to make the contracts work because we have a lot of high earning players on our roster. So we'll have to give up a good amount to bring him in. I'll take Cheikh Diallo. The Suns still need to throw in another player. Ty Jerome, I guess. What's the dilemma now? $6 million. We need to add $6 million. We don't have a lot of high earners off the bench. All our earners are in our starting 4 players. Our top 4 players earn all $28 million plus. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we were in the luxury tax. I think we are. I don't think I can make this Kelly Oubre trade happen just because he does make $14 million, and that's a lot of money, especially for our 5th best player on the team. So I think I'm going to find, maybe I could trade for a guy like Eric Pascal. I like the idea of having Eric Pascal. The Warriors are already almost over their salary cap, so we'll throw in Damian Lee. The Warriors need to throw in another player. I'll take Juan Toscano. The Warriors still need to throw in another player. How many? What? How many guys do I need to toss in? Okay, now they need at least 11 players on the roster. I'm so confused right now. I don't get it. Okay. I'm not trading for Eric Pascal. It kept saying that the Warriors can have at most 15 players on the roster, but I keep adding players and I don't know. It's being dumb. So I do like the idea of having DeAndre Hunter on the team. I don't know much about DeAndre Hunter if I'm being honest, but I believe he is a solid shooter. So I'm going to try to see what I have to do to bring him in. Eli Okobo. Take out Raul Neto. Okay, we need another $1.88 million off the books. Mike's got $5 million there. What's the dilemma now? 50. Okay, give me a bunch of your terrible players. Okay, so I'm going to try to toss in a few more picks on this DeAndre Hunter trade. How much do they want for him? Do I have any more first I can give up? No. I want to bring in DeAndre. They're not going for DeAndre Hunter. They're not going for that trade. What if I took out Eli Okobo and then tossed in a slightly better player? I'd be down to give up like Shake Milton. Okay, that's it. We have our starting small forward in DeAndre Hunter. Let's go to coach game plan here. They want Glenn Robinson. Hold on. Rebuild rotation. So this is the starting 5 I think I'm going to roll with this season. Matisse Thybulle is going to get minutes off the bench, preferably at the small forward spot instead of the shooting guard spot. I want Matisse Thybulle to start there instead. Matisse Thybulle at shooting guard, Furkan Korkmaz at small forward. Get DeAndre Hunter up to 30 minutes. Get Embiid up to 40. I want Embiid playing 40 minutes a game. And then our starting PG 38, Simmons 37. Okay. I want to have a very starting 5 oriented team. We do have a very good starting 5. D'Angelo Russell, Devin Booker, DeAndre Hunter, Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. Very young, but they are making a lot of money. That's okay, though. They mostly are proven besides DeAndre Hunter. Matisse Thybulle, Furkan Korkmaz are very good off the bench. I'd like to pick up better bench players instead of Kyle O'Quinn and Glenn Robinson. See who else we can pick up to fill out the bench unit. Guys like maybe Duncan Robinson, maybe I could pick up. I'm going to see what I could do to transform this bench unit for us. So I'm taking Kyle O'Quinn and 2 second-round picks. I'm sending him to Chicago for a young backup center in Daniel Gafford. He's 22 years old. He makes less money than Kyle O'Quinn, and we get the Pistons second-round pick for 2023 in return. Sounds like a good deal for me. We offload a old Kyle O'Quinn. He's a good vet, but he's coming towards the end of his career. He has only 1 year left on his contract. Daniel Gafford has 3 years left on his contract, so we get a longer contract, a younger player deal. Next thing on the agenda is a backup point guard. I currently do not have one, and I would like to trade for one. So I'm gonna throw a guy like Glenn Robinson in 2 seconds. See if I can find a backup point guard. Okay, I like that trade a lot. We have a new backup point guard. He's a very good backup point guard too. We snag him from the Charlotte Hornets, and it's my guy Devontae Graham. He's gonna move up to the 6th man in the rotation. He's gonna take a lot of Ferk and Matisse Thybulle's minutes, but that's okay. We have a very good backup point guard. Vontae's gonna be playing 20 a game. Yes, 20 a game for Vontae. I love that trade off the bench for a backup point guard for D'Lo. Once again, another very young player, and he's on a very good contract. I think he only makes the minimum salary, and he's very underrated. He improved a lot for the Charlotte Hornets this season. I'd be surprised if he doesn't try to go somewhere else to improve his career. So now I think the only thing I'm missing is a backup power forward to give Ben Simmons a break. He's playing 37 minutes. Everyone else has a backup outside of him. So I want to bring in a backup power forward. Doesn't have to be elite, just decent, to give Ben Simmons a rest during the game for those like 5 minutes he's not playing. So I'm going to see what I can finagle from other teams for a backup caliber power forward. Okay, so I don't want to give up DeAndre Hunter in this trade. I do want to bring in Jay Crowder. He would be insane off the bench, and I feel like he would really complete our lineup. Okay, the Heat need to give up a random off their bench. How about Udonis Haslem? Okay. So the Heat need to give up another player. Not Kendrick Nunn, Chris Silva. Now it's a salary cap issue for us. Now I see why they wanted DeAndre Hunter. Okay. This trade's going to be almost impossible. Give me a second here. I'm going to see if I can finagle this Jay Crowder trade, and that would literally complete our roster, and we would literally be one of the best teams in the league. So Jay Crowder does have a lot of trade value, so that's why it's going to be hard to trade for him. I think they did value Eli Okubo at 1.5 stars. Zaire Smith as well. They need to give up a rotational guy like Udonis Haslem. Why did Jay Crowder's value go down to 2 stars? Doesn't make sense. Maybe we do need to make a sacrifice. I don't want it to be DeAndre Hunter. It's not going to be Matisse Thybulle either. But it might have to be Furkan Korkmaz. He might have to get shipped. No, that won't even make him eat. I don't have any high earners off the bench. Yeah, the Jay Crowder trade might be a L, because he makes $7 million a year. Don't know whose idea it was to pay him that much money. But he is a very good three-point shooter. He did torch my Milwaukee Bucks in the playoffs. I guess I don't blame them for paying him that much, because he is a dog. But we cannot bring him in. He makes too much money. We can't make the salary cap work. So we're going to move on to look for another backup power forward. PJ Washington. Possibly. No, he's 3-star value. That is not happening. Not at least in this universe. Okay, this trade I feel like I could actually make happen. Markieff Morris for Eli Okubo. I don't know what they want me to give them. Maybe a higher trade value player instead of Ryan Broekhoff. Brandon Good. Nope, he's 1 star as well. Norrell Pell, 1 star. That's it. We get Dion Waiters back. We get Jared Dudley, and we get Markieff Morris. We do give up a lot, but that's a W in my book. We're not going to use those picks anyway. So that rounds out our rotation. 10-man rotation is what I'm going to run with. Markieff Morris, Oh no, Furkan Korkmaz is going to be our 10th man. He's going to be on the least amount of minutes. Okay, I'm going to round out these minutes. So Devontae Graham goes down to 16 minutes, which is totally fine in my book. Markieff Morris gets 11 minutes. Furkan Korkmaz is going to get 9. They're suggesting I give him 0, but I couldn't care less. So our final roster is D'Angelo Russell at the 1, Devin Booker at the 2, DeAndre Hunter at the 3, Ben Simmons at the 4, Joel Embiid at the 5, Devontae Graham as our 6th man off the bench, Matisse Thybulle, Daniel Gafford, Markieff Morris, and Furkan Korkmaz. I feel like we are going to put in a great run for the title this season. But that's going to end off this video. In the next episode, we will be playing the opening day game at home, the home opener versus the Boston Celtics. It's going to be a good one. I feel like we're going to get a pretty easy win there because our roster's stacked now. But you never know. It's the Boston Celtics. See ya. Peace.